721 days ago, 7-year-old Theodor Zeider broke the 2x2 Rubik's Cube world record with a 0.43 second solve. Not only did he become the youngest world record holder ever, he proved that this laughably absurd category is designed to be completely unfair. You see, the cube Theodor received could be solved in just 4 moves. Because scrambles that can be solved in 3 moves or less are disqualified from official competitions, he was left with what speedcubing would call the holy grail of opportunity, and in this one improbable moment, he capitalized with his first world record. But unfortunately for Theodor, it's possible to get even luckier than he did, because this past weekend, former world champion Ziyu Ye was given an even better chance than Theodor had, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to steal the world record. And for better or for worse, it ended in a record more unbreakable than anything that came before. His 0.39 became the culmination of a now decades-long truth about the 4-move scramble. Everyone knows that without this incredibly rare requirement, the world record isn't physically possible. The problem is that the odds of a 4-move 2x2 scramble appearing in competition are 1 in 2,000. This is where the 2x2 Rubik's Cube world record goes from incredibly difficult to straight up unfair. You see, of the top 10 solvers in the world, none of them have completed 2,000 official solves. Even with careers that span a decade or longer, the chance at a 4-move scramble simply never seems to appear. And statistically, this is perfectly expected. None of these 10 were ever supposed to have a chance at a 4-mover in competition because they simply haven't done enough solves to get one. The tragedy of this new 2x2 world record in particular is the fact that the man who broke it has completed the least amount of official solves of anyone in the top 10. He was quite literally the last person who should have had a shot at doing this, leaving everyone completely dumbfounded as to how it is even physically possible for the cube to be solved this fast. The first step of solving the 2x2 is of course solving a side, and just looking at the scramble, we can already notice that it's super advantageous no matter what color we choose to solve that side on. We have this bar right here, and this bar right here, and this is exactly what top level 2x2 solvers want to see. But Ziyu in particular also notices that all of these options do in fact lead to a 4-move solution. So no matter what path he chooses, this cube is going to get solved in 4 moves. In fact, the yellow and the blue sides both lead to the exact same solution, but so do orange and red. So if there are all of these options which are all the exact same amount of moves, we can just pick one and go with it, right? Well, no, because we forgot the most important part of the 2x2 world record, which is the finger tricks. If you can't pick up the cube and immediately execute 4 perfect turns as quickly as possible, it's just not going to be a world record. Looking at the solution on yellow and blue, which is our first option, we actually start with this U move right here, and then we do an R2 move and we finish the cube. Now, this would be good, but no matter how you spin it, the finger tricks for this are going to be quite awkward. You could start the solve by doing this push U move, and that would actually set up pretty well into this, but just starting off with this move initially is decently risky compared to a better solution that Ziyu was sure he could find on this scramble. And that leads us to the solution that he actually ended up going with in the solve. This is the 20-frame executed solution, so obviously it has to be pretty insane. We're going to go with red here. So he's going to start with the red bar on the bottom, and then he sees that we can simply move this corner down and then pair it up with this red corner, right? And now we have this bar, and now it's just an R and a U prime, and that finishes the cube. But what's most important about this solve is how he's going to execute it. If we just hold it from here, this would be very nice to execute in a solve and just simply go like this and the cube is solved. But unfortunately, Ziyu doesn't have the luxury to do that. Because this is an official attempt, he has to start with his hands on the timer, which means that we can't really go into this R move with this regrip too easily. So instead, what he does is something very, very smart here that most people might not actually think of doing, is starting with the red bar on the front. So now when he places down the cube and he starts the timer, he can turn this first R move into an L move. And now everything that we need to do is right here in front of us, and we can simply do a U2 R U prime. So how that would look from Ziyu's angle is simply putting the red bar on the front, starting the timer, and executing like so. The same exact solution can actually be done on orange. So we have the orange bar right here, right? And it's actually the exact same thing, just on orange, which is pretty cool. 0.39 the new fastest 2x2 solve ever done in competition. But the strangest part I forgot to mention about all of this is that 0.39 wasn't the first time the world record had been broken that day. Just seconds before it happened, 59th in the world Sky Guo apparently put down a 0.41. The story goes that he broke the world record by 0.02 of a second, but before he could even process the moment, Ziyu had already stolen it from him. And according to the regulations, his solve won't be recognized as an official world record because someone else broke it the same day it was set. We still don't have video evidence of this solve, but considering they were both in the same group and received the same scramble, it will very likely be allowed to stand, and Sky will hold the second fastest solve ever done officially. The same cannot be said for the number 1 2x2 solver in the world, Yihang Wang, who was at this competition, but placed in a different group from the one that got the world record scramble, meaning he never got a chance at the 4-mover. And that is probably a good thing, considering his PR is a 0.46 on a 5-mover. It's a miracle Ziyu was even able to turn as fast as he did on this solve. We know that top 2x2ers can reach up to 20 turns per second on longer solutions, but in a world record where half of your time is spent starting and stopping the timer, it's no surprise that 0.39 is the first 2x2 world record to ever be done at 10 turns per second. There is such little room for error on a 4-move scramble that TPS really isn't even a metric anymore. I mean, this is the first time we've seen a 1/10 of a second barrier broken in the event in almost 10 years, which of course begs the question, will it take another 10 years for us to see a 0.2? Because the 0.39 was confirmed to be a completely legal timer start and stop, we know that this solve was done in around 20 frames. So who's to say that we can't see a 0.2 or even a 0.1? There are certainly better scrambles than the one Ziyu got that exist. The question is just when we'll see a top-level solver receive it, which is already super rare, and on top of that, execute perfectly in the one chance they get. Just imagine it, the perfect opportunity. I mean, the phone is practically already in your hands. All you have to do is reach out and smash that subscribe button in world record time. Congratulations. You're the new world record holder for becoming a StuCube subscriber. That took way longer than I could have ever dreamed it taking. But ladies and gentlemen, it takes 0.39 seconds for you to subscribe to the channel and you still haven't done it. I can't believe it. It would not have taken a 6-year-old 0.39 seconds to press that button, but it took you even longer. How are you going to let that slide? Probably the most difficult daily reminder to date, but it doesn't matter because you're still just so easy to roast. And I will never stop telling you that you're slower than a 6-year-old. And besides that, that's about it. See ya.